Hello everyone, it's your favorite farmer family Ijay, and you already know what we always come here to do. I've been making so many videos in the past and I've not really spoken to most of my followers or most of my subscribers that are in diaspora. And this video today is dedicated to anybody in diaspora that wants to start up a farm here in Nigeria or not in your current location. I'll be giving you or spilling you the teas or what to do or how to go about it. Hello everyone, it's your favorite farmer family Ij, and as you all know, I always come here to give you tips on how to be a very successful farmer. Stick right there while we elaborate or while we dissect everything you should know before going into farmer. As someone that doesn't stay in that location, diaspora might not really mean staying outside the country. Diaspora might be you have a farm in the east and you're in the west, or you have a farm in the west and you're in the east. So that is my definition of diaspora in this video. Maybe I'll start this video like this. I know that agriculture is one of the fastest growing economy here in Nigeria, and it's making or giving people lots of money, like giving people lots and lots and lots of money, because so many people, even people we hear online, they're always hyping the farming and everything, and everybody seems like everybody is wanting to get involved in this aspect of business, and lots of people might have passion for it. So I'm going to be speaking to you in this video. So before you start sending that money to people back home or person managing your farm, pay apt attention to every single details I'm going to give out in this video. Firstly, I'm going to start by passion alone is not what is going to pull you through in agriculture, or in other words, passion is not enough. It's never enough. Yes, we all know that first of all you need to have a driving force to start whatever you want to start, which is or what we usually call passion. Quite understandable, but you can have the passion, have the funds, and still go into that business and fail. First of all, you should know that what you're about to get yourself into, or what you're about to do, is not a child's play. It's not a romantic date that you're going for. It's business that you're going for, so it has to be treated as a business. So passion is never enough. Passion comes first, then every other thing comes behind it. So before you start a business, or before you start a farming business, as somewhere that is not readily available, please keep your passion aside and face the more important aspect of the business. Because aside from passion, the thing that is going to lead you through, or the thing that is going to take you or determine how long you're going to stay in the business, is you knowing the do's and don'ts about it, and you knowing the right things to do at the right time. And because farming you might just sit down and you've spent within a month, you've spent almost 20 million naira or 10 million naira in a farm, and yet you're not seeing any difference. So that is the main reason of this video. If you can see this video, I'm not smiling so much because I don't want people to make lots of mistakes, and it's very disheartening if anybody makes that type of mistakes and come back to me to complain. Honestly, it does not keep me happy. And okay, moving forward, I usually hear this a lot from people in the diaspora that come to meet me. They usually tell me, I have a sister, I have a brother that can help me. Because anybody that comes to meet me that is not around, I usually ask the person, who is going to manage the farm for you? The first answer they give me is, I have a sister, I have a brother, I have a cousin, I have an auntie, I have an uncle. I usually ask them, do you trust that person? Because most of the times these people are family, and sometimes dealing with them you can be very sentimental about the whole thing. Oh, she's my auntie, oh, she's my sister, don't worry. Then there's no need to ask about that. It's okay, it's fine. How much is it? It's not so much money. That is what has sent so many people home. We also hear stories of how people send money down to people here in Nigeria to build houses for them and they don't do it. Same thing applies in family. Same thing applies in business. They feel you have the whole money and you can take up any loss that comes from it. That is why they usually misuse. Most of the times they buy inputs that are not original when they are trying to conserve money and get the side money that will go into their pocket. The plant might not get to maturity, and maybe say they don't even have passion for it, because a lot of people don't really have passion for this farming. They feel it's hard work. They feel, oh, I can't suffer, I can't do this, I can't do that. And you trying to impose it on them, you have to do it. They will just reluctantly take it up, not knowing what it's cost, not knowing how much you've invested, not knowing so many things. So before you think of starting up a farm in a place that is not your location, first think of who is going to manage that farm for you. I will advise you to employ a very reliable hand, someone that is experienced, someone that has done the work, someone that can be very accountable for whatever you ask the person. That is who you should employ when it comes to your farming business. Because if you keep relying on your family, trust me, at the end, most times at the end, you might just have to just let go because they're your family, and you won't want to really go extreme with whatever, in case it turns out bad later. So when you're working with these people, you have to they have to be accountable. They will have to submit every receipt that whatever they buy. They will have to not. Is my cousin that used to live with me when I was in Nigeria. It's not done that way. It's not done that way. They're not going to manage your business very well. It takes the extra grace of God for you to see a family member that is going to deliver the job for you. So I always tell people that are not around is, you have to pay for services or pay for results and not pay for relationships, because you already have an existing relationship with that family member that is going to make them to be very reluctant on whatever it is. And also you have to create accountability. If you're not around, it's best you have to employ people at the different stages, or people that can handle this, the general manager, the manager that will take care of this, the supervisor that will take care of the workers and all that, so that everybody will know their role. If anything goes wrong, you already know who to hold accountable for whatever. And you that is not around, you also need to be on your toes every blessed day. You need to work like you are with them, because it's going to take you extra. You have to be there, because most times when workers notice that you are not present means trying to know what is happening all the time, knowing what is happening in your farm, taking records, asking questions, trying to know what is wrong at every point in time. It's going to make the workers to be up and doing always. You need to track all this by having a CCTV, by having using WhatsApp videos, by asking the managers question, and also by researching, so that the manager or whoever you kept there won't see you as a novice. So that whenever you're interacting with the manager or whoever that is around, he knows that this man already knows what he wants to do. Even if he has in mind to tell you something that is wrong or whatever that goes wrong, he's going to be scared. But if it's in a case where he knows that you are an illiterate when it comes to that, he can just tell you whatever. Something else might be wrong, and he'll tell you something else, and you will just believe. It might be a serious issue, and he will just commonize the issue for you not to worry about it. So Leave your family members out of this unless the ones you trust that can handle the business. And if you are hiring people, you also have to be accountable of your farm 247, like you are available. That is the only way you're going to win if you have to invest in farming in Nigeria. Another important key, if you're not around or even the diaspora, is your location. Most of the times here in Nigeria, I'm not trying to discredit anybody, but here in Nigeria, people are more concerned about how much they are getting from you or what they are getting from you. Sometimes people don't have integrity. And maybe you might be wanting to buy a land, you will call somebody, help me and look for a land anywhere and all that. The person will just give you any type of land. You will not, the person might not go for some underground check to know if that particular area is fertile, to know if that area has issues with irrigation, or maybe when drilling borehole, if it's going to be very difficult getting water, like the depth of water there, trying to know the type of trees that are around there, and also the accessibility of that farm. These are the very few things you have to consider, because remember they are going to employ workers. And if you employ workers, you need to also keep these workers where life is going to be a bit easier for them, where they can get water, where they can get good network, where they can get good transportation. So while buying a land, also put these few things into consideration. Although farms are not situated in urban areas, they are mostly done in rural area, but also let it be a bit accessible even to the market, because sometimes you might get to a stage where your buyers or your off-takers will be coming to farm to off-take. They need accessible road for them to come to the farm, buy their goods and go. And also, if you're taking your goods to the market, it has to be accessible for you too, for you to take your goods to the market. So before you even buy that land, take care of these things. Make sure it's situated in a good environment. Make sure irrigation is on point. Make sure it's not a low land, because low land erosions usually happen there because of the excess. If there is excess rain, erosions might likely happen there. So it's better you go for high land, like not too high land, but at least high land where water can be conserved and the land and everything. This is very, very important. So moving forward, I have spoken about accountability as you as the owner. So I'm going to go very deep into that in this point. As an owner of a farm, there are certain records you need to keep for your personal self, to know how progressive your farm is doing, to know if the farm is regressing or progressing. First of all, you need to keep track of your expenses. The land, the fertilizers, how much you pay workers in a month, the products, how much you buy them, your irrigation cost, basically the cost of everything. Even though you have a manager, even though you have an agronomist, but you need to keep this personally for yourself, so that you will know how well your farm is doing, to know if this is really working or not. When it comes to expenses, when it comes to farming, treat it as a business. Especially if you're not around, treat it as a business. Everybody around, anybody involved in the company, they need to treat that your business as a business. If you leave these workers, they don't really care about your business. Nobody cares actually. So you have to pressurize them to do their work. Keep your own track of your expense, and they are going to do theirs. When they know that you are up to date, they will always try to keep to date as well, so that they don't lose their job or something like that. Then coming to the field, when you've planted and everything, you need to keep track of how many plants how many plants you have in the field, when they were planted, when you start harvesting and all, when you start harvesting, or when you expect your harvest, your first flowers, whatever step, or when you're supposed to apply your fertilizers, you need to know all those things. Don't just leave the work for your agronomist to do, because once they know they are being monitored, they will do their work much more better. When you start harvesting, you need to also keep track of how many kg you are getting, or how much produce you are getting from a particular space or whatever you are using. And also, you have to, if possible, have contact with your customers. If possible, have contact with your customers. Make sure you reach out to them if possible, or however, but just make sure that you are on track with every single thing that is happening in your farm, because that's your business. You know how much you've put in there, you know how much it has cost you, and you also know what you want to achieve. That is why you also need to be very up and doing when it comes to your farm. Also, if you're in the diaspora, I will advise you to, I know you have the funds, I know you have the whole money, I know you already saved up money to start the project, but also you also need to work with what you can manage over time, before you make plans of coming back to the business or however. You also need to know if this is working for you. Let's take for example, you have about 50 plots of land to work on. I think it's ideal for you to at least start with 10 plots of land, because you know that you are not present at the moment. So you start with 10 plots of land and see if this is scalable. First of all, create a system before you scale. You have to have a system. Know that, like, we have cropping calendar. From this time to this time, this is what we are planting. From throughout this week, this is what we have to do. So this helps to keep everybody in check. You have a system. I don't want to use the word start small, but start with something you can manage. Starting small might be maybe so just start with something you can manage first and gradually scale it up. If the person that is managing 10 plots of land can manage it effectively, trust me, that person can still manage 15, 20, 30 plots of land. And make sure by that time, you've already known if you've gotten a reliable worker or somebody reliable to work with. Then with you having a reliable person to work with, it's easier for you to scale up than just starting up without knowing the person or knowing anything about the person and all that. Also, if you're not in Nigeria, you have to, if possible, you have to have a register or whoever that tracks when they come to work, because you are not there. So you need to make everything possible for you to be standard. If they have to clock in at work or however they want to do it, but just make sure that there is a standard in your farm. Time to leave work, time for break, startup time, and all that. So that's why I said, when hiring people, don't just hire anybody. Hire somebody with integrity. Hire someone that can do the work. And you on your own part, have your CCTVs. Make sure that your farm is well grounded, that they can't steal, because theft has to be one of the problems a lot of farmers face. Once your workers have started stealing from you, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to even break even in your profit and that. Conclusion to all this: does farming here in Nigeria actually work? Yes, 100% it works. Even if you are not around, it works 100%. But it has to be based on these three things. It has to be based on structure, good strategy, and good supervision. If you have these three things in place, you can be 1 million miles away and your farm is going to be going, or is going to be working perfectly. So my dear brothers and sisters in the diaspora, farming in Nigeria or not in your current location actually works 100%. But first, you need to start small, start smart, and treat it like a business. Don't base your business on emotions. It has killed so many people. Don't base your business on emotions. Yeah, on emotions and blind trust. People, you put so much trust on people you're working with because he's my sister, he's my brother's friend, he's my this, he's my that. No, treat it as a business. So with that being said, I just hope like few people have picked some points out of this. If you already have a farm ongoing that is not really going well, then that means you need to change your current workers and employ these techniques I've listed out. Make sure you do them, and I'm pretty sure that your farm is going to take a different turn in all this. So it has actually been a very wonderful time with you all here. As you all know, let's grow together. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow this, or share this video to as much people as you can, and people that need this video. I'll be delighted here. You can put your questions in the comment sections and I'll be happy to answer them anytime, any day. You are free to contact me also if you want us to discuss about certain things, or maybe talk deeper. I will still give you a listening ear about that. So do have a lovely day. Bye. Don't forget to farm smart.